Goblin. The Goblin appearing as one of the most feared and menacing antagonists in the Spider-Man franchise novels and movies. Initially started by Norman Osborn and passed on to his incompetent son Harry Osborn, the Goblin formula enhances physical abilities, giving him superhuman strength, reflexes, and intelligence, but sooner takes into a split personality disorder. Accompanied by the OG Goblin glider laced with ammunitions like pumpkin bombs and razor bats, the Goblin is always looking out for ways to destroy Spider-Man. Among the multiple felonies, the worst was killing Spider-Man's girlfriend Gwen Stacy in front of his eyes, which broke Spider-Man, completely establishing Goblin as the most hated and ruthless monster. Unlike other villains who fight Spider-Man for power or revenge, the Green Goblin takes a personal interest in destroying Peter Parker's life. That creepy laugh and goblin mask still haunts me.
But the one thing they love more than a hero is to see a hero fail, fall, die trying. In spite of everything you've done for them, eventually they will hate you.
Cersei Lannister, one of the main antagonists in the fantasy drama series Game of Thrones. Cersei Lannister is the best among the few female villains in cinematic history. There's not a single felony this lady didn't commit. Behind her beautiful face lived a treacherous, cunning, and jealous devil. She betrayed her husband, slept with her own brother, and got all her children slayed due to her vicious nature. She conspired against the whole Seven Kingdoms to gain power, and used it to suppress the poor and nobles. Cersei created her own monster, the Mountain, to massacre whoever came in her way. She was so selfish that when the whole kingdom was fighting against the White Walkers, she withdrew her whole army and closed the city, denying any help. Overall nastiest creature in the whole cinema history, she was so diabolical that she ordered the hunt for every Baratheon bastard and every member of the Stark family after Robert Baratheon's demise. Cersei Lannister was a ruthless, cunning, and ambitious ruler whose thirst for power ultimately led to her tragic downfall.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. There is no middle ground.
Luca Changretta. Luca Changretta, one of the most cold-blooded villains in Netflix's Peaky Blinders, was the embodiment of calculated vengeance and ruthless ambition. As the leader of the Changretta crime family, he arrived in Birmingham with one goal, seeking revenge from the Shelbys for his father's death. Behind his suave demeanor and polished Italian charm lurked a merciless assassin who showed no hesitation in butchering his enemies. Luca orchestrated a brutal campaign against the Peaky Blinders, systematically eliminating their allies and killing John Shelby. His tactics were precise, his patience deadly, and his arrogance unshakable. Unlike Tommy Shelby, he didn't play by the rules. An Italian mafia seeking vendetta. What else do we need? Luca arranges an assassination attempt on Arthur Shelby during a boxing match, believing him to be dead. In the end, he proved to be a formidable but flawed villain, one whose thirst for revenge led him straight into the trap of the very man he sought to destroy.
Get on your fucking knees and sign!
Gus Fring. Gustavo Fring, also known as Gus, is one of the most iconic antagonists appearing in the crime fiction series Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. A drug lord hiding under the cover of a renowned and respected owner of a food chain, Los Pollos Hermanos, he is known for his ruthless intelligence and meticulous control over his double life. Gus rarely shows any emotion except when pushed to his limits, like once he killed his right-hand Victor without any reaction or hesitation because Victor got a bit careless. He is a man of extreme patience and caution. Seller of the best chicken and the best meth. Quite a diversified business. After years of careful planning, Gus poisons Don Eladio and his top men using a bottle of tequila, wiping out most of the cartel in one move with the help of Jesse and Mike. He even planned to eliminate Walter White when he saw things getting out of his hand, but Walt outmaneuvered him and killed him. Gus Fring remains one of TV's greatest villains, an embodiment of patience, intellect, and calculated brutality.
Mr. White, I am homosexual, and I have a crush on you.
Biff Tannen. Biff Tannen is the main antagonist appearing in the sci-fi movie trilogy Back to Future. He's a classic bully character, known for his arrogance, lack of intelligence, and tendency to push around George McFly and later Marty McFly. Biff is always up for villainous deeds, whether it's cheating in school, forcing others to do his work, or using his wealth to oppress people. One of Biff's worst actions was his attempted assault on Lorraine in George's car during the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. And in the dark timeline created by the Almanac, Biff arranges for George's murder, marries Lorraine by force. His defeat at the hands of George McFly in 1955 is one of the most satisfying moments. Despite all his villainy, Biff always gets his comeuppance, usually by getting knocked out, covered in manure, or humiliated in some way.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think McFly, think.
Darkseid. Darkseid, also known as Uxas, appears in the DC Comics and movie Justice League, is one of the most notorious villain in the history of comics. He betrayed his own family, murdering his brother Drax to claim the Omega Force, a cosmic power that transformed him into the stone-skinned Darkseid. Darkseid is nearly indestructible and possesses immense strength with his signature energy blasts, fired from his eyes, can incinerate or disintegrate targets. His primary obsession is the anti-life equation, a mathematical formula that grants him control over every living being. He ravaged planets, eradicating entire populations, and enslaved civilizations for his purpose. Darkseid even corrupted Superman's mind to work as his enforcer. Looks like the Thanos version of DC killed by his own son Orion in the end, but Gay still remains one of the most brutal villains in the fiction.
Ready the Armada. We will use the old ways.
Vecna. Vecna is the main antagonist in the TV show Stranger Things Season 4. Vecna is a nightmarish entity from the Upside Down who preys on the trauma and fears of his victims, eventually killing them in their sleep. He is intelligent, strategic, and deeply personal in his attacks. Henry Creel, a child carrying supernatural powers, killed his family and was later taken to the Hawkins lab, and later became Vecna when he was defeated by Eleven and sent to the Upside Down world, where he became a humanoid monster with decayed, vine-covered skin, elongated fingers, and a skeletal face. Unlike previous creatures, Vecna is not just a monster, but the true ruler of the Upside Down, orchestrating its horrors to reshape reality according to his vision, for which he killed many people, including an attempt to kill Max, and opened portals joining the real world and Upside Down. This guy really needed a psychologist as a kid. Vecna remains the greatest threat to Hawkins and possibly the world. We will get to know the rest in Season 5.
You see, humans are a unique type of pest, multiplying.
Michael Myers. Michael Myers, appearing in all parts of the movie franchise Halloween, is one of the deadliest and notorious psycho serial killer in the history of fiction. A tall, imposing figure, usually wearing a mechanic's jumpsuit and a white mask, he is silent, emotionless, relentless, and carries superhuman strength, mostly accompanied by a large kitchen knife to kill the victims. His motives remain unclear, but he is obsessed with killing his own family members. At just 6 years old, he brutally murdered his 15-year-old sister and was sent to Smith's Grove Sanitarium, from where he escaped after 15 years, starting a killing spree in Haddonfield. Michael stalks and kills several teenagers, including Annie Brackett, Bob Sims, and Linda Vanderklok, and slaughters an entire mob of vigilantes who try to take him down, proving his near-invincible nature. Michael Myers is the embodiment of unstoppable evil.
Subscribe if you like the video and let me know in the comments who is your favorite villain.